A boy accidentally fell from the 6th floor, but in that very instant, a girl leaped from the 5th floor and grabbed onto him mid-air. They were falling fast. Everyone watching squeezed their eyes shut in terror, but they didn't die. They landed safely on the ground. The boy was saved, but the girl's actions terrified everyone around her. People treated her like some kind of freak. She felt hurt but didn't know how to explain. Over a decade ago, this girl appeared out of nowhere on the street. She had nothing on. She didn't know who she was or where she came from. A kind police officer found her and eventually adopted her, giving her the name Mao. Her adoptive parents were wonderful to her. They never asked about her past and gave her a warm, loving home. But the good times didn't last. After Mao transferred to a new school, she failed every subject except PE. She had bad grades and she was adopted. Once her classmates found out, the bullying never stopped. They mocked her for not having a real mother. They even smeared stinky tofu on her head. She had no idea how to fight back.
いい加減にしろ。
正義の味方気取ってんの
Kosuke hated bullies more than anything. He snatched the tofu right out of their hands and smeared it all over the bully's face. That kid had never been stood up to before. She ran out of the classroom crying. The rest of the class just stood there in shock. Kosuke didn't say a word. He just walked over to the class photo on the wall and pulled out the thumbtack that had been jabbed into Mao's face. What he didn't see coming was that standing up for Mao would get him shut out by the entire class. From that point on, he didn't have a single friend. After that day, Mao started following Kosuke everywhere. Wherever he went, she went, because besides her parents, nobody had ever been that kind to her. Slowly, they became the closest of friends. Mao was terrible at math, so Kosuke tutored her. After school every day, they'd go sit in the park and talk. They shared everything on their minds and talked about what they wanted for the future. Kosuke's dream was to get into a top university. When Mao heard that, she told him, starting today, her dream was to get into the same school, even if she wasn't the smartest. She was going to give it everything she had.
コウスケ、ありがとう。私に構ってくれて。
That autumn, they had the purest friendship you could imagine, but it all fell apart because of the girl who had bullied Mao. She'd been scheming behind the scenes the whole time, reporting Kosuke to the school again and again, accusing him of bullying. The complaints eventually reached the principal. To avoid any more trouble, the school forced Kosuke out. He had no choice but to transfer. As soon as Mao heard, she rushed to find him.
本当に行っちゃうの？やだ。名古屋ってどこ？
But nothing she said could make him stay. Kosuke left. They were apart for 10 full years. As an adult, Kosuke never made it into a top school. He ended up as an ordinary 9-to-5 office worker at an advertising firm. Through a business deal, Kosuke ran into Mao again. By then, she had become a creative director at a company. She'd gotten into that top university. She was no longer the shy little girl who could only giggle nervously. Kosuke couldn't help but think back to the day they first met.
私、渡来真央。
How he could never figure out why Mao had walked right up to him and introduced herself on her very first day. When the two companies found out they were old friends, everyone thought it was destiny. They signed a partnership deal on the spot. Mao walked Kosuke out right before the elevator doors closed. She said one more thing.
ありがとう、コウスケ。
The two of them were finally reconnected. All those memories from the past came flooding back. They'd always had feelings for each other. It wasn't long before they made it official.